Well, hello there. I am very glad that you were curious enough to click on this video and to hear what I have to say. I'm Exoman, and I want to talk about guns and about concealed weapons, concealed carry, which is what I do. I have my gun concealed on my person right now, as a matter of fact. So let me entertain a few things, and you see what you think. Now, we all have our opinions, don't we, about guns? We all, many people have very strong opinions and want to be heard. Well, I want to be heard too, because it's very important to me. And when I speak about guns, I speak from experience. Now, let that sink in for a minute. You speak about guns. Are you part of the anti-gun lobby, as they say? Are you an anti-gun person? If so, what is your experience? You may have a cavalier response to that. You may say something like, I don't want experience with guns. That's the whole thing. I don't like guns. Okay, well, to me that is an ideal. That is idealism. And that is something I can't reach for, because it doesn't make much sense to me. And here's why. You cannot close this Pandora's box. You cannot uninvent this tool. It is a tool that has been invented and has been around for a very long time. You may say, well, I don't want any part of killing and dying that way. Well, neither do I. And that, my friends, is why I carry a gun. See how that works? Let me go on. As I said, I speak from experience. I have, before reaching adulthood, had guns pointed at my face and head 3 times. Before adulthood. Think about that. Have you had similar experiences in your life? Don't you think that if I could erase guns, all guns completely, that I would do that? Absolutely. There's no such thing. That's pure fantasy, isn't it? That's just like saying, I want there to be no more war. Poof. I want there to be no more slavery. Poof. It's happening. It always happens. All those things always happen, and they likely always will. When we're in one day in the future, when we're not carrying guns, we'll be carrying some form of weaponry that will kill, like Ray Bradbury's ray gun or something. There will also always be a way for men and women to instantly harm each other. You just can't take that away unless you change the human. You must change the human to change the tools. Anthropology teaches us that. When the humans change, the tool changes. But when do you extract violence from people? I don't know. But I can't speculate about that. What I need to do is live in the here and now and protect my family and my person. Okay? That's what I'm getting at. So I don't mean to sound overly opinionated or harsh, but I'm just saying, are you speaking from experience when you talk about guns, when you talk about your attitude towards them? I am. So look back. What is the difference between us? Let's just say you and I. Let's just stick to you, the viewer, and I myself. What childhood did you have? The childhood that I had, I lived in places like seedy motels and hotels and trailers and scary places. I lived in places without power, let alone security systems. I lived in a trailer once where we had no lights at night, and we cooked weenies from the convenience store on a refrigerator grate over a pit in the ground outside of the trailer. There were people who would do us harm, and we were very lucky. And I feel lucky that I survived my childhood only having 3 guns pointed at my head and never being shot. So that's my experience. Yours may be of growing up in a safe suburb with a security system. You may even have a bodyguard. Christ, I don't know. But let's just say all experiences are vastly different. So I would call your attitude, if you are an anti-gun person, a one-size-fits-all. I would call my attitude towards guns as one of freedom, allowing people to protect themselves. Because you hear this all the time, but it doesn't, somehow it doesn't register, and somehow it doesn't work into your type of, you have a particular type of logic if you are an anti-gun person, and this doesn't fit that particular type of logic. But the problem is, people will always have guns. You cannot uninvent the tool. Like I say, you have to change the mind. You have to change the human before you change the human's tool. And it's going to be a while. It's going to be a long time. And I doubt that will ever happen. Again, I'm concerned about the here and now. And please remember that we all live different lives. We all walk different walks. I've had a lot of violence in my life. I've had a lot of fist fights. I've been in gang fights. I've had knives pulled on me. Yes, knives, plural. I've been punched in the face and kicked in the face. I've had my face bitten open by another human being, ripped open by his teeth. I've suffered some slings and arrows in a literal sense. So that's my experience. Would you just throw all that out with the wash and just say, well, my experience should be yours? Well, it's not. It's different. It's very different, isn't it? So you might, shop at, you might go to posh shops and live in a very expensive high-rise in a very nice part of town and feel quite safe all the time. Well, anything can happen anywhere. It just happens with a lot more frequency in the places where I've lived. And I could go on and on about the instances. I worked in bars that were robbed at gunpoint, and a lot of times they shoot people. They don't just leave with the wallets and purses. They shoot the witnesses a lot of times. Don't kid yourself. Read the statistics. I had apartments that were robbed. I caught people coming out of my apartments twice. One of them pulled a knife on me. I woke up to the sound of screaming. My roommate was screaming one night because an assailant was in his bedroom who came running through my bedroom. And I screamed that I had a gun, but guess what? I didn't. That year I got a gun. That was when I was in my young 20s. And I considered it foolish for me to try to survive in those circumstances without a gun. And I hear you people, I hear you say over and over, but just stop with all the guns. Let's get rid of them all. Let's make them illegal. It doesn't work. How did that war on drugs work out? Did making drugs illegal correct the problem? No, it exacerbated it, didn't it? It did. It always does. Just simply by making, what kind of nonsense is that, by thinking that when we make something illegal, no one will have that thing. Now, it's a ridiculous argument to make. You just make it that much more dangerous when you make dangerous things illegal, right? Okay, so that is basically and essentially pretty much all I have to say as I tail off in this talk about guns. But our attitudes are different. Yours is a fantasy attitude where as soon as you take the guns from the good guys, the bad guys will surrender theirs. Mine is a survival and a freedom attitude. Give me my freedom. Dare I say, don't tread on me, and I'll give you your freedom. All right. And that's about all I have to say on the subject for now, and I thank you all for watching. And by the way, Merry Christmas to you.